and of course a Beastmaster into the off lane. They could get active around the map. So we're gonna jump into game number 1 here, and we're gonna see how this goes, as it is going to... Okay, the big one I want to talk about is the Beastmaster facet. We're finally seeing people get away from the previous facet and go towards Wild Hunt. And this is one that I think is pretty good, but was just overshadowed by the other one for quite some time.
Yeah, so we were talking about how the Na'Vi supports maybe can't deal with summons the best. That's kind of true for Shopify Rebellion as well. These supports don't love facing summons, though the cores, especially with Empower, I'd say maybe don't care as much about it. So I am kind of curious on that. I guess he still thinks it's worth it. Especially, I guess it's more early power, which is maybe what you have to survive through. Can't have all your heroes aiming for the late game. So maybe they're hoping Boom will help make space early for the Spectre. Okay, I'm going to break the smoke, but he actually doesn't see this.
Oh, boy.
So the ward is just a little further out.
That is a very good ward. We'll see if they can actually connect on the kill. Great Earth Spike into the pushback. Blood grenades are out, and that is an absolute guaranteed kill. Going to Sanctity on the mid lane, Tiny. It's a fantastic way to start out this mid lane.
Yeah, I think you need that too, because you need Sanctity to be the playmaker to start. Batrider needs to farm up a blink. Lion can do it later, also needs a blink, right? That's going to be slow from the supports. Fortunately, Magnus shouldn't be the worst matchup. It really should just be a farming lane, especially now that you got First Blood, helps you out. So I think that's a great start for Na'Vi. Nice smoke.
Yeah, and the fact that the wave is under their tower as well is a pretty big deal, right? Like, oh, good denies. So they're going to have really good lane position here in the bottom side. And Ogre, of course, being late to the lane means he's not going to get that level 2 super quick, which is the lane that they need to get that level 2 on to start dominating. So overall, just really good decisions there from the side of Na'Vi.
If you don't do something in that lane, the Boars can be good versus Drow, who is actually also now facing a lot of pressure from the slows from the Boars and the Lion, though maybe he stepped up too far. Ogre still hits kind of hard, even though he doesn't have any spells.
Yeah. He doesn't need spells to bonk. He has amazing base stats. Now, that being said, Yamato will be able to squeak away. The Hawk dive bomb ends up going to a creep.
Lion's got to be careful. As Skem gets close to level 2, that learning curve damage is pretty crazy once you hit it, is the trade-off. Yeah, good positioning from Lion, staying far back. He knows what's coming. I guess that most of the action will be in this bottom lane, because mid's really just a farming lane. As people get close to 6 and get the runes, I think we'll see a little more action there. Top lane, I mean, it's a Spectre and a Lycan, right? I think they're just going to look for farm, and it should be Lycan favored thanks to his wolves and his passive. He's got more damage. Batrider, which we didn't really mention, ends up being a Batrider 5 as opposed to Lion, but I think for the lanes it kind of makes sense. But he won't actually get that much done here, I think. Like, you just try to do your best for Spectre.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, you're trying to stem the bleeding in that off lane as Na'Vi, because as soon as Lycan gets that Helm of the Dominator, your tower's not going to last very long. That's just kind of the nature of how this is going to go. Like, they'll be able to dive. Spectre and Batrider don't really have a stun, really. Now, you can punish them with a lot of napalm stacks and maybe a TP from the Tiny or the Lion. So that's pretty much what they're looking for. But if the other lanes are also under pressure, this should be a pretty early tower coming out from the side of Shopify, assuming the Lycan continues to farm how he is, because he's having a fantastic lane.
Okay, what if Lycan... We haven't seen Lycan versus Beastmaster in a while. What if Beastmaster... Oh, wait, Lion? Getting pretty low with that Ignite damage.
Dude, good old frog or fish. Yeah, I mean, this is learning curve, man. The early points at Ignite, Bloodlust is nuts.
You just got to survive through this. But if you do, and like Beastmaster gets his Helm of the Dominator at the same time, maybe you could just swap lanes and just like you just take turns trading creeps up there.
Dude, it's true. You could see it. Yeah.
Maybe you could hold a tower that way. But I don't know if Spectre ends up jungling or in this bottom lane. I don't think she'll have a great time. So maybe that's not a very viable strat. Interesting. Lion going for a deep ward and then just denying himself.
You know,
He was
sometimes
pretty
it'd
low
be
from
like
that play
that.
earlier.
Yeah, he also knew the Ogre was at least in a position where he could cut him off. So, because he saw him like going back that way for the rune. So,
Yeah, Sanctity maybe wanted a bottle refill too. It's like, yeah, could you just go die to tower or something?
can you be a good
Fill up my
support and
bottle.
trade your life for my bottle refill? Unfortunate there for Hellscream. Not quite on the mark with that Bramble, but Lycan with good micro, which is what we have come to expect with this offlaner. He is there. One thing, if you're unfamiliar with this player, you will see he's going to be playing a lot of micro intensive heroes. Things like Visage, Broodmother, Lycan, Beastmaster. These are his type of heroes. So
Yeah, and he's real good with it. Which I do think over time, right, he'll expand his hero pool. We've seen this a couple times. Like ATF broke onto the speed of like 3 heroes, and then slowly expanded from there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of expecting Amaterasu to be somewhat similar, but maybe starting with the micro heroes.
oh, that's a really good ignite onto both heroes. And they do get the Earth Spike into the Hex bottom. They're doing a lot of damage here with the Beastmaster, but he's going to survive thanks to a nice Lotus. Good flame breakout from Kaori, but Scam is just beating him down. The TP in from the Dark Will. A great Bramble onto 2. They don't have the damage, though. Boom's going to survive, and Hellscream trying to chase after the Batrider and cannot do it. The Boar and the Slow is enough to keep him back in a really good series of events here in the bottom lane from Na'Vi.
Opted for the Cursed Crown at level 3 on Hellscream. Kind of gives you another crowd control, but often we see people sometimes go like a second point in Bramble or Shadow Realm first, which might have given him enough damage to get the kill there.
Yeah, Brambles scales so well if you can guarantee you're going to hit the actual root, right? Well, we're going to see the rune. It's going to actually spawn tops the haste rune, but a lot of damage coming out now is Skem with the help of Hellscream trying to work on this Lion. The Tiny up onto the high ground, though. No spells kind of left in the tank, so they'll just back away. And Yopaj will look for the sweet, juicy haste rune.
I guess the damage is a little lacking in these early levels from both teams. They got some tanky heroes, and the supports need a good chunk of levels before they start doing tons of damage. So, relatively low kill so far, 2 to 3. I guess
Their
they'll
level
ramp up
6
as we
is
get
going to be
6.
huge, though. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Bedlam coming out, Finger, Lasso, so a little slow pace till then.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's
The
structures
Yamato's rotated over to the top lane.
Dire's top tower
They're trying to pressure this tower with the catapult, and they are keeping it alive, zoning the Spectre off. There's no way she can contest. So it looks like it is going to be the top tower for them.
Yeah.
Boom's going to try to match that in the bottom lane. But I
He
think
can
their
do it
catapult's
pretty
already
quick.
dead.
Yeah. I don't know how they got the catapult, but the fact that it is dead is absolutely massive. Now, they might get a kill on the Scam here. He's realizing they're going to chase. Now, does have boots. Going to get knocked back by top lane, and RP will pull back the Spectre, and the kill will go to Yamato. And a pretty worthy sacrifice from Scam. Delays the tower push even longer. The Helm of the Dominator is completed, and that top tower is gone.
You get the Ogre, but that trade doesn't even feel as good because you lost your Spectre off to the haste rune we saw Yopaj pick up earlier. But also, because of that chase, they actually haven't damaged this tower very much. So I feel
Yeah.
like if Shopify Rebellion wants to defend it, they could TP down there. They don't have the greatest heroes for defending, I suppose, like the safe wave clear, especially now that Magnus already used RP, so maybe they are just going to trade it off, use this time to farm.
Yeah, both
Seems
Helm
like it.
Doms
No
are
one's
up.
coming down.
They're going to pressure mid, it looks like, actually. So they know that with Beastmaster bottom, wow, okay, this, the Troll Summoner with this facet is actually kind of sick.
That's a lot of
That's
damage.
a lot of attack speed. 66 AoE attack speed with 2 points of Inner Beast. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, I like this. That's pretty neat. Yes, I did not consider Troll Summoner counting for that many instances. Up top lane, big fight breaking out here. Dark Willow buying a little bit of space. The Avalanche, the toss isn't enough to finish him off for now. He's all right. The Hex comes out. Hellscream getting finished up here by Shad. Just needs one more auto attack. He's not going to get it. He throws a Blood Grenade and dies to the Bat Rider. But Amaterasu is going to go ahead and pop that Shapeshift. Look for the kill. Instead, finished off by Yopaj, a 2-for-1 top side as your Beastmaster is looking for tier 2. This is ridiculous pressure from this facet.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to have to put it into action because joining team fights clearly looks pretty tough for them right now. That top fight not going the best. He's coming mid now. He does have Roar. I don't know. You don't have that great follow-up damage until your supports. They're still level 5.
He stole it.
Lion close to 5, so...
Yeah, these are where the games begin. You kind of have to take the Troll Summoner away from the Beastmaster. Like, he just destroys these towers. That is wild.
I guess Amaterasu can do the same thing though. He's got the Troll. I hope this Troll lives the whole time. I hope it just changes hands throughout the whole game.
That'd be fun. Overall, very even game, 5-5. Very small gold advantage for Shopify, but ooh, that's a very good block with the Wolf there. There, he's gone for his own Centaur. He's going to go straight for the Helm of the Overlord, which I have to imagine is going to be the same play from the Beastmaster. Oh, the Blink Reveal, RP up from Yopaj. They find him. It pulled into the Centaur stun, the Curse Crown. This Tiny is going nowhere. He's quite tanky, but not tanky enough. A beautiful setup there from Shopify. As they're going to look for this mid-tier 1 with the help of the Catapult. They should be able to finish it.
I don't think you can fight this without the Tiny. And you kind of need Tiny Blink too, which is... This is the tough thing about Tiny versus Magnus. Magnus has more natural farm speed and doesn't really need that many items. So the blink timing is way sooner. He's already got 1,000 gold over the Tiny. So Tiny is like a little less than 2,000 away from his own blink. And this is where things are pretty tricky for Na'Vi. We're talking about how they have to survive through this early game. This is that window. And fortunately, Boom is doing pretty well. He's actually at the top of the net worth. So they have to play around him. You see both supports with him. It does kind of mean, right, like that their level's still a little slow, and they kind of, these are like supports who like to be a little greedy. Bat Rider likes to be doing stacks. Lion likes to be given some space so he can get a blink. So that's where there's like a bit of counter synergy. They're gonna have to make it work though. The Spectre just has to like catch up and farm right now, and Tiny's got to get to that blink.
Yeah, I think like looking at the supports here, I'm a little bit surprised that Ogre is the one that is the farmed, quote unquote farmed support. I guess maybe he's gotten lucky with the bounty runes. It's hard to say, but this is not a hero you typically see. He's like known as like a sacrificial support kind of, right? Whereas your Bat Rider, like you said, wants to be doing stacks, getting towards that Blink Dagger, and he's only about 800 away, so he's closing in.
I think Ogre was on the winning side of those trades we saw in that bottom lane. He's the one who ended up with quite a few of those kills, which is, as a support, you're always like, oops, sorry, carry. Oh, no. I got the kill. My bad.
Don't worry. I'll build you a Solar Crest later, you know?
You have it queued, but you buy the Midas later.
Mind games them. It's like 20 minutes into the game, and you're like, all right, let's go push. And you're like, all right, throw that Solar Crest on me. And you click your Ogre, and he's
Solar
like Midasing you. He's Midasing the lane creeps and right in front of you, and you're like, wait a minute. Something doesn't add up.
He's got 900 gold. He hasn't bought anything, which he certainly could if he's getting a smaller item.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure it'll end up being a Pavise, but good smoke to the top side. Now, that being said, Na'Vi is dodging this expertly. They know that they want to start pressuring this top tier 2 tower. They've got the Black Dragon here pushing in. Spectre in the trees. They actually get a glimpse of her for a second. I don't know if they're going to be able to find her. Smoke's going to pop Hellscream. They know something's up. They do find the Spectre hiding in the trees. The Terrorize is going to connect. He pops the Blade Mail, but will he be able to escape? He is so alone. And it's just going to be Shopify trying to slowly run him down, pulled back in, surrounded by 4, and Shad will end up falling to Yopaj. So it ends up being quite a nice move from Shopify at the end of the day.
And he has nowhere to go there. Sometimes you'll see Spectres haunt somewhere else or Shadow Step somewhere else to get away. Yeah, I don't know if intentional or not, but Yamato stayed in the jungle during that gank attempt. He's like, okay, if he came to me, I would not be able to finish the Spectre. So let me just jungle. He'll have nowhere else to go because my whole team is looking for the Spectre. So I mean, sure, you could do it, but you're just hopping from one death to another.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So very nicely done from Shopify. Slowly growing this lead, especially as the tier 2 gets finished up. Starting to close out the map on this Spectre. So she does not have a ton of space to farm.
It's the Blink daggers right now. Legitimately is the issue. They don't have a Blink initiator outside of the, oh, now they do. The Bat Rider comes in, gets the lasso onto the Magnus. They need to finish him off before he can RP, and they will be able to do so. The Roars managed to catch the Dark Willow as well. She's got no way out, 2 dead on the sides of Shopify, but here comes the Lycan, baby. He's got these wolves. He's got the dragon doing some serious damage, but he's going to be able to back away now. A 2-for-1 trade, a big win from Na'Vi.
Excellent find with that blink. I thought it was looking good at first because Dark Willow broke the smoke on the high ground, but they still had vision from the ward on that cliff. It actually just expired. So just long enough to find the perfect kill on the Magnus. He didn't get to use RP, didn't get to do anything in that fight. Just threw everything on him.
Yeah, this is a,
I got a nice
really
replay
good
here.
find. Yeah, the blink onto the Magnus is the absolute best target.
Everything. Yeah, everything, and then everything besides roar. So you get 1 extra free kill since you get to roar something else. This game is going to be tough for supports. We've already seen it a couple times, but Lycan running down people, all these core heroes like Spectre just shadow stepping onto a support. Life is not going to be easy. They're going to have to stay out of sight as much as they can, and when they commit, they're going to have to know it's probably going to cost them their life to do whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah. I think the Lion's going to be the one who's going to have the rough, like the saddest game, because it's just so easy for a Lion to die against these heroes where, I mean, Dark Willow at least has like Shadow Realm, and Ogre is naturally tanky, but we're going to see Na'Vi go for the Roshan here. 15 minutes with that Helm of the Overlord. Pretty typical, right? Anytime, a Dire team Beastmaster sees the Roshan switch to their side of the map, they're going to make the pressure for that and should eventually fall.
Maybe you wouldn't fully expect this with a Spectre lineup. And Yamato actually drew the arrow thinking they're coming to gank him. So this is going to go uncontested. And this is quite nice for Na'Vi because as the tempo lineup on Shopify, they've been taking towers. You eventually want to pick up that Roshan, clear up the rest of the towers. Maybe you do a little poking at the tier 3, but you'd like the Aegis to do that. And that actually just got stolen away from you. So you're going to have to wait 8 to 11 minutes before you can maybe get it for yourself. And it's the delay game for Na'Vi. Just keep extending it until this Spectre is online. So stealing the Roshan, that's step 1 towards making it to that late game where they're going to look a lot stronger.
Yeah, they had no idea that was going, clearly, because they could have pressured mid-tower. They had 3 heroes kind of floating around there. They could have looked to bottom, but they were actually afraid of the smoke gank instead. Hell's not going for the courier? Maybe he's waiting for it to pick something up before killing it. I don't know. Could have just gotten a free courier, decides against it. Both teams will lose their off-lane tier 1 tower. A little bit of a map advantage technically for Shopify Riders. They've got a little bit more towers at this point, but the Aegis is going to put kind of a wrench or a kink in that plan for a little bit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Na'Vi, they're losing a lot of towers, but you can't actually contest it. This is a mistake a lot of pubs make, is like you think you need to defend. Hey, I know what's in the name of the game, but sometimes you can't. You're just not equipped to deal with the enemy team. So Na'Vi has identified that. They're doing their best to just split up on the map. And so we see, even though they've lost quite a few towers, they're only about 2k behind. And that's not that bad considering you're the Spectre.
Immediately pops. Huge RP onto 3. The Terrorize connects. Lasso is there. In comes the Lycan, but where is the damage? You gotta finish him off. It's gonna be Yamato with a huge amount of damage coming out as well. Now Shad, he reflects a lot of damage with the Blade Mail, but Sanctity, he's out of mana. He is too tanky to finish off, but what a find from the RP of the Magnus and the Hellscream follow-up. It's all there. We're going to get a replay, I am sure, in a moment, but my goodness, that is the best thing you could have asked for into an Aegis lineup.
That's why Magnus is so popular right now. Yeah, here we go. They had the ward on that high ground, so even as they come up smoked, It's just not where you want to be. The Magnus was in the perfect position. He pays with his life, but you're happy to do so as everyone else. Actually, he didn't even die. For some reason, I thought he died here.
Yeah, that gust into
Ogre
Cursed
died.
Crown. That's what it was. I didn't realize I saw the gust come out, but yeah, the Cursed Crown immediately just stunning up 3 more heroes after the full duration RP terrorized. That, I mean, they just didn't get to move.
All right, I was saying it was just a 2K lead. Jumped up the 4K, doubling their advantage into the Aegis, which actually they still have the Aegis thanks to the fact that Tiny waddled away out of there, but
Yeah.
that is not what they were hoping to find there.
No, not at all. I mean, the multi-shot of Drow is starting to become a serious threat. With this facet, the sidestep, the fact that she can move while using the multi-shot is pretty nuts. It gives her the ability to position or kind of... Yeah, I guess just be in a better position. Like, Drow is probably one of the most position-oriented heroes in Dota, like, when it comes to fighting. And having that ability to move while multi-shotting is pretty huge. A 5K lead Manta style now done for the Drow. That'll help her out quite a bit. But it's going to be Na'Vi looking for an opening themselves. They've got these Blink Daggers. They've got the Shadow Step available for when they want to use it. But it is the tail end of nighttime here. A little bit harder to find their opening.
Catch side the Spectre, but I don't think you can actually jump the Spectre without Magnus. Who's pretty close to finishing the BKB, so it looks like he just wants to chill right now till it's done. Except
Very close.
Yeah, going a little aggressive.
I thought they were going to try and steal the Tormentor for a second with the Lycan, but they are TPing back on Na'Vi. They do not want to give this up. They've got the Wolves here to try and scout this out. Amaterasu trying to block the toss back with his own Golem. Very nice movement there. And now he's just going to scout this one out. Kaori's actually losing a decent chunk of HP here just to these Wolves. And they'll just turn their attention to finish off the Tormentor, which I think is a wise decision.
They're going to hope it goes to Lycan over the Bat Rider. This is actually slower than I thought it would be. They're gonna really work for this one.
All right.
Oh no, to the Bat Rider.
You know, it do be like that sometimes. Time for Shopify's turn. Lycan can just solo it, of course. That's why I was surprised they made the movement to show on the lane there. I legitimately thought Amaterasu was just going to solo their Tormentor really quick and try and back away. But this shard goes to Skem. It's not, again, not the best shard, but it's better than nothing, you know?
Better than Bat Riders.
I think you would have definitely preferred Dark Willows. It is a terrifying shard to play against, but...
Yeah, the extra Brambles would be really nice as a combo with the RP, but...
Potential
well,
smoke.
Shield's not too bad.
Yeah, again, it's just, it might keep someone alive. We'll see.
Yeah, especially the Drow, right? If she gets jumped, that's kind of all he has to do. Stay near the Drow, keep her alive. So in that sense, maybe it is something they want more than the extra combo with the RPs.
Got their eyes on this mid-tier 2 tower. Shieldren's going to spawn top, which is actually going to be very fortunate there for Shopify, as Batrider was there ready to look for a Blink Lasso. And they're going to have to address this split push of the Lycan here at some point. Like, these summons will take your tower if you allow them to, especially now the fact they have, you know, multiple Manta styles as well to tank the towers. Both teams know exactly what's up, but yeah, that mid-tier 2, it's got to be dead soon. There's no way it's got much HP left. Oh, Skem just throws his body on in, trying to get some vision for the enemy team. Shadow Step onto the backside, will find the Dark Willow. He's going to go back to his team. So we'll just lose the Ogre. Managed to hold for the tier 2 at the moment. Yopon is looking for an RP. He manages to find the Tiny, pulls him down to the low ground. They got him. The silence is out. A big Terrorize connects as well, sending back too, as Amaterasu is looking for the back line, and he 3-shots the Bat Rider. Tiny's dead. And now they look for more. They find themselves the Spectre in the trees, but boom, trying to get away from this freaking Lycan, man. He's doing so much damage, but finally, that shapeshift will expire. But not without cost for Na'Vi. They lose 3. They get the buyback of the Ogre, but now the high ground siege about to begin.
This is Empower Bloodlust with Lycan Creep, so this should be pretty quickly. Oh my goodness, yeah. All right, they're going to fortify for now. I think if they really wanted to force it, they could, but they're going to play it safe. They know Roshan could start to spawn soon, so if you overextend and you give this up, you give up the second Roshan, that'd be really bad. So they're just gonna be happy with the fortify.
You're going to
nice
get
find from the
Blink
Magnet.
Lasso and Tossback, right? So
Yeah.
don't give them the opportunity
scary.
type of thing.
Yeah, that was looking better for Na'Vi. It started with a kill on Ogre. I guess because they weren't defending the tier 2, they thought, oh, maybe they're on our half of the map. I can like step into the triangle. That was incorrect. They were just playing very patiently. But in the chase for more in the 5v4, just kind of got a little scattered. And then Tiny got separated from his team. Switch up from the usual tossback. Gets skewered
Dude,
back.
those wolves just gave so much vision and info to the side of Shopify. They were about to make a smoke play, and they scout the TP in, and they're just like, oh, dang, there's wolves here, guys. Go spread back out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we were saying it earlier. He is really good with his micro.
Yeah. Roshan's about to spawn. 1 second away, so it was a quick respawn. It will be moving dire side in about 10 seconds. Now, like we talked about, they killed it just at about the 16-minute mark. So we'll be seeing Roshan move his way top. They'll know about this. Next Roshan, if it goes the way of Shopify, could be the Aegis to crack the high ground. If it goes to Na'Vi, they could maybe stall this one out to get this Spectre a little bit more farm. That's what they need at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually fight Shopify in a 5-on-5 around the pit, though. I think it's
they
too
saw the
scary
lion.
against the Lycan. Well, if you get a free lion kill, then especially.
He dodges every spell. Fortunately, they're like, surely he's walking towards his base, right? So they try to block off where he's going, but he actually just didn't move. He had no idea that they saw him. Oh, man.
Did catch sight at the end as he blinked away.
Yeah.
So maybe if he starts his TP right away, he could get out. But it does mean you can't contest this Roche. You need everyone if you're going to try, but I think it's difficult. You need to somehow find the Magnus and kill him first, but that's really tough because you only have so many jumps. And if all of you jump the Magnus and he gets BKB off and doesn't kill, then he's just going to RP all of you. So it's a very tricky fight to take, especially into the Invis Wolves always scouting you out. So as his pause ends, whether Lion survives or not, it is looking to be a Shopify Roche. Give that to the Drow Ranger. They actually finished double Lincolns. Drow has hers on the
huge
way.
game for
Lycan
Lincolns.
has his. So really all you have to do now, get the Aegis on Yamato, double Lincolns him, just let him poke, right? And all you have to be careful about is the tossback and lasso. That's a lot to be careful of, but that's what the double Lincolns is for. It's really tricky to break Lincolns and then lasso and then like Force Staff away. If you use the Force Staff to break, you're going to lasso her, but they're just going to stun you there before you get Drow away. So this is looking like a tricky timing for Na'Vi.
They've also got Manta styles to just throw at the high ground as well for like vision for the Magnus to go fishing. But Drow could also potentially dodge like a blink toss back with a Manta as well. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it is definitely possible.
Are you ready to have some fun?
Yeah, I think the Lincoln's purchase is super smart this game. It stops the initial blink Bat Rider, but also potentially roar in the middle of a fight or even just a single lion stun, something like that, right? So, all right, he does
the
immediately
lion does
TP
get
out.
away.
Yeah, I thought that's what he would do, and I think you're right. They're just going to give up the Roshan and look to push lanes. The line already being drawn down mid, still pressuring bottom with the Bat Rider as well. So, why not?
Boom did get a Crimson Guard, so that'll be pretty nice. There's a lot of right-click damage coming from Shopify, and it'll help you kind of delay their tower push a little bit, but man, with Empower, they hit hard, so I think they'll still do a good chunk of damage through that Crimson Guard. But if you can get, I don't know, it's got to be like, maybe Lion breaks the Lincoln with Hex and Earth Spike, and then you get the toss back or lasso from there. You need something like that, and then maybe if Shopify overcommits to defend, you get the nice haunts on the back line, something like that, you can win a fight. And if you can survive and win one major fight as Na'Vi, I do think they'll extend this to the late game, and it'll start being a lot better. Like, Shad's getting close to the point where any support who shows is just dead, and that's where life gets a lot better for Na'Vi, but he's not quite there yet, and they're knocking your tier 3 right now.
Yeah. No fortification, of course, like we talked about. Now, they are going to counter fort with this, or not counter fort, but drop the banner, Roshan's banner, which will give them the... Oh, Yopaj goes in. He only finds one. BKBs will pull the Spectre into the enemy team, and now Shad, no chance of escape. Now, they do manage to get on top of the Drow, but she just gets saved, and the damage out from Amaterasu. What in the world was that? The
And
Tiny ripped apart like
damage.
paper. And another
there's the
pullback.
next
They
one.
are falling apart on the side of Na'Vi. The Bramble is going to catch the Beastmaster. And Amaterasu, this shapeshift is lasting forever. These extra kills extending that. Still such a threat. Now, right now, the mid lane was cut, so they are at least going to prevent, 2 lanes of barracks going down here. But this is such a devastating fight for the side of Na'Vi.
Yeah, I actually didn't see who pushed out mid, but that was a fantastic call to do so, because otherwise you lose 2 barracks right off that one fight. Now, you might still lose them because actually Aegis is still available, and Shopify is just headed on back. They don't have RP this time, so maybe they'll wait for that. And yeah, you have enough Aegis time if you want to do that. There's still 2.5 minutes on it. So you could wait for all the spells and then just go again. I think that'd be the very safe way to do it. I don't think they actually have to do it. If they don't want to, it doesn't look like they do.
Around. They're going to try and play this from the backside, see if they can find. It's going to be Scam on the Ogre. The Shadow Step on in. They take him out, and that's going to be a dieback from his earlier buyback. So removed from the game for quite some time. He's looking for the Lion. The Lion will escape. Batrider as well gets the TP out. So clean escape.
Oh.
Well, not for Lion anymore. He gets 2-tapped by Yamato.
Looks like he wanted to try to make his way back for the gem, but it cost him his life.
And he's still got the Aegis. Oh, Tiny gets caught on the side. Brambled over and over. Terrorize connects. Yopaj, he's got an RP in 1 second. Looking for an opening here. Who's it going to be? It's going to be a roar out from Boomy. Pops the BKB. They have the Lincolns to protect him, and Yopaj doesn't seem to care. He's just going to go ahead and pull the Spectre right back into his team. Does get saved for the moment with the Force Staff, but it doesn't matter. He's dead again. 50 seconds, no buyback, and now Sanctity able to dodge this one out. A nice juke from him. Goes south. We'll avoid the side of Shopify. Might be able to get a lane cut. No, not going to risk it.
I think maybe he should, though, go for another one, because you can't fight without your Spectre, and she doesn't have buyback.
1 minute left on
Cut
Aegis.
creep somewhere.
16,000 gold lead all of a sudden. Shopify are firing on all cylinders. I mean, every single hero they seem to get their hands on, they managed to kill.
Looking like they should have this one, outside of getting a little too tempted to get near that fountain. Some endless tossbacks and lassos in there. I don't think Na'Vi will be able to defend this from here.
Oh, they got the Beastmaster. Another skewer back. Yules will put the Tiny into the air. Yamato in a little bit of trouble. They managed to get on top of him for now, but he's still got the Aegis. Glamour caped up. Nobody on the side of Shopify is going to go down here, and instead, it's a disaster for Na'Vi. 3 dead. Make it 4 as the Tiny goes down, and the GGs get dropped. Game 1 going to Shopify.
It was looking good at first for Na'Vi. I feel like they were hanging on for a bit, but I think we see a little bit of the weakness of the draft, which is that 2 minutes
into the Broodmother lane and try and stop him from taking towers. So eventually that may help out as we have a little bit of a pause. But for everyone who is just tuning in, welcome, as it is game number 2 of Na'Vi versus Shopify here on the Storm stream, and Shopify currently up 1-0. Yes, okay, he did this on the Batrider. He went Arsonist, which is why I was considering a potential mid Batrider, right? Because you could go for the Arsonist facet in the mid lane, but he goes for it anyway as the 4th position overstoked. Give them even more push potential.
Yeah, he likes this one, and I think it makes sense. It really does help you off of one kill, really punish those tier 1 towers, and then it's not really needed for the later towers that much. You're probably waiting for like the blink lassos rather than sieging a tower, especially when you have like Brood on your team. But sometimes you want to fight. It does help you have just a bit more pushing power, and that's really what their lineup is. Again, going for on Shopify. Navi has tried to adjust with that Tide. I kind of get the idea, but I'm also wondering, like, let's say you delay the game with the Tide. Do you reach a point where you're that much stronger? I know I've seen some Bristlebacks pop off, but I've also seen Dragonites pop off a lot, and I can see him picking up a Silver Edge, and then I would favor him in that matchup. I'm not quite sure where the timing for Na'Vi comes in. I guess it's like Ags plus 1 item on the Bristleback, and you try to get a lot done in that time. But I feel like Shopify has 5 signature heroes in a very cohesive draft.
It's actually, when you put it like that, it's a little bit scary. But yes, you are correct. This is very much signature heroes for the side of Shopify. Now, one thing I will mention, like you said, is there does Shopify outscale them? I kind of feel like you do. Like Dragonite is just such a massively dominant hero in the mid late game. You're against Bristle and Tide. Like this is such a simple Silver Edge game. You're absolutely going to build it. There's no way that you don't. Tiny also is a hero that can build Silver Edge from the mid lane. So you're going to have multiple forms of break as this game goes on and plenty of damage. So it's going to be up to Na'Vi to try and get something out of this Tidehunter and Earth Spirit combo early, like combining with their supports, because you have high damage supports, but you're going to have to find some big kills and start slowing down the Shopify draft early on.
Yeah, I think that's maybe step 1. You have to have a strong lane, which nice flame break from Hellscream. All right, 2-2 split, actually. I thought they were going to get 3-2. I guess looks like Boom maybe stole the top rune. He's pretty tanky. Can do that quite safely. Something actually we see on screen right now. Chents usually take the Satyr facet, and it's stronger in the lane. The Hellbear is the other one we sometimes see, and it's when the attack speed aura is really good, which... We've been talking about the tempo. You're going to have like a million Brood Spiderlings and a Dragonite, and you suddenly give them extra attack speed. That's kind of a sick idea. They're really all in on this fast pace, like synergy between the heroes.
Yeah, people kind of forget. Like you just throw the potato. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he is taking a beating here, but you just throw the potato, the little Hellbear, into the fight. It dies and death rows and gives your entire team a massive buff, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. And so kind of a cool play from Skem to go for this.
Yeah, we are going to get into some wacky creep shenanigans in the top lane. This is not going to be a great lane for the Tide. Unless you do kind of weird stuff like this, but see Skem's pretty comfortable running creeps around as well. Yamato playing the Dragonite, very tanky to not... Like, you try to do this with a Drow, you're dead,
Yeah.
This many creeps. But a Dragonite, he just runs them around. Laning as usual, ×3. This is some turbo mode lane right here. Let's see how well they can last hit this many creeps dying at the same time.
I will say, when it comes to Nyx Assassin in bad lanes, like that's pretty common, right? They'll just take Mind Flayer, drag the wave, like Mind Flayer some hard camps in the process, which just does exactly right there. And it just continues kind of dragging. But Chen is kind of a beast right now. He is just right-clicking him to death.
Strongest potato you've ever seen.
Dude, this potato owns.
You also see this camp didn't spawn because they actually used an observer to block it. And you have a sentry in the triangle as well blocking that one. So some good ideas versus the Chen, knowing he wants to farm like this.
Well, your Tidehunter is getting some good experience. He doesn't have amazing CS, but, that's kind of the nature of playing a weird and wacky lane like this. And when you pick the Tidehunter where they did, it makes sense looking at how like considering this was their idea. Like, all right, we're just gonna ignore the lane. We're not gonna play it normally. So Tidehunter, just don't die next to your wacky stuff.
Yeah,
perfect type of hero to put in the lane.
Yeah, Nyx could help get a lot done. A lot of it's a solid Nyx game. Good versus these supports. Maybe he picks up his own break. Pretty solid versus the Dragonite. Maybe he can help get some of these burst kills early.
Ooh. And it's gone.
Mango Mind Flare. But the Tornado's actually still alive.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't realize that.
As the Wild Wing. Little guy.
You gotta instantly take it out if you want to prevent the Tornado from coming out.
But overall, lane and mid very even. Off lane, a little bit of an advantage for the Broodmother, but not by much. So right now, better lanes from Na'Vi for sure as compared to last game. Yopaj in the mid actually going to take a decent amount of damage there. The fortification came out just a little bit too slow. He tried to fort the wave to prevent Sanctity from actually finishing it off, but in comes Hellscream on the Batrider. He's got a roll in a moment. As long as he can block this, they get this kill. The toss is out, and this might be your first blood. He gets
nice
the roll.
Kick.
What a grab from Sanctity.
Oh, is Scam coming in?
He's out. Dude, what a beautiful kick roll. Now, it does hurt him. He had to TP to Fountain.
Yeah.
So that's still pretty sick.
Home, yeah, having a TP home is still a relative win, but a nice play to at least limit it to a death, or limit it to not dying. But it does mean Yopaj can start picking up that XP advantage and continue to get the CS towards the Blink Dagger that will eventually be him being active. I guess Earth Spirit having roll makes TPing home not the worst compared to other mids. You get out pretty fast. He's already back in that mid lane.
Yeah. Watching these two just earth like creatures fight for last hits is just hilarious.
Two stony boys in the mid lane.
Bottom lane looking for Kaori. This should be a kill, but ooh, does he get he loses them in the trees? Oh man, that is unfortunate there for Amaterasu. They do know of the rotation in, maybe from Sanctity, and that's going to be first blood. Beautifully done from the Earth Spirit.
Pretty slow first blood, 5.5 minutes. I guess it makes sense. If you look at all the core heroes, they're all so tanky.
Yeah.
Dragonite, Tide, Earth Spirit, Tiny, Brood, Bristle. Like, Brood's probably the squishiest of them, which is really saying something.
Well, for now, I mean, Na'Vi are actually doing quite well with these lanes. Like, I thought it would be going better, but Amaterasu goes in really aggressive, and they just turn on a bottom and finish the job. You didn't even need the stun.
Thank goodness. You'll feel real bad bringing 3 heroes and not getting a stun, or not getting a kill, so.
God, this top lane is hilarious. Just Boom is just clicking the Dragonite, who just seemingly doesn't care. And he can't even bother clicking the Tide because it's Tide, you know?
Yeah, it's just a farm lane. I always see that. They're both at the top, 36 to 34. You get what denies you can, but it's mostly just a farm lane. Looks like Sanctity's coming back bottom. See if he can make a play, and I imagine steal the Wisdom Rune off this. Nyx already in a very aggressive position. Oh, caught by the creep wave, though, so rotation's already coming in.
They're forwarding to keep the wave here. Yopaj will block the roll, actually, which might keep Hellscream alive. The boulder kick does connect. He's trying to get to the rune in time. He throws the blood grenade. Does he get it? No! The avalanche isn't enough to slow him, and Sanctity will steal the wisdom rune away. Now they're going to try and finish off Yopaj here at the tier 2 tower, and the dive, it might be successful. He's trying to bottle up and survive. Shad taking a lot of damage. The toss, he gets the kill, and he's going to survive thanks to the bonus armor from the tower. And now Sanctity, he needs to bail. He's got no mana for a TP quite yet. Will they find him in the trees? They do. Here comes Amaterasu. What a turn of events. This was looking so good for Na'Vi. ends up being a massive win for Shopify because they still managed to steal the enemy wisdom in this. Skem got it.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, kind of. But in the end, you lose so many core heroes. It was a case where I don't think it actually is worth it. Usually it is. Usually stealing it and dying is okay, but that was the Earth Spirit and the Bristleback dying. Kind of getting baited in by the Tiny. You forget the facet reduces your damage.
Yeah.
So that along with the tier 2 buff just kept him alive. It looked like he was so close to dying. He was, but never actually died. Gets the return kills. Just not enough mana. Earth Spirit, maybe, like with enough mana and he TPs out, maybe that becomes okay. But losing the Earth Spirit as well, just so painful. That's the 6 on the Brood, 7 now actually, so she's about to start popping off.
And during all of this, Yamato's just farming it up on the top lane. Dragon Knight, what this hero, I mean, he's just Sven, but better, right? I feel like this is why we just see this hero so much. It's like, why pick Sven when you can just pick Dragon Knight, who can't lose a lane and basically farms just as fast? So he's going to be very happy. Now, top side here with a ward. They're going to go in onto this Chen, but the TPs are coming. Dragon Knight hits the Dragon Tail, trying to put some damage out here onto the next. Big avalanche comes through. Yopaj to finish the job. Tomato just surviving, but there's the Ravage finally, and the damage is stacked up. In comes Sanctity as well. Now looking for Yopaj, boulder kick on the mark, and there's the Magnetize. He's going to turn his attention towards Hellscream as they've got themselves the kill onto the Tiny. Roll off the mark. They should be able to keep this one going. Another boulder kick. The urn is out, and Hellscream will certainly take down under the tower. Blood Grenade's out, though. Dude, what a turnaround from Hellscream. That's a sick kill.
Overall, still a win for Na'Vi, especially as I think they should be able to get that tier 1. Oh, maybe not, actually. It took so much to kill the Dragon Knight. It's the benefit of a tanky carry who looks like he already finished an Arma, so extra tanky. And in the meantime, Amaterasu took that bottom tower. She do pick up a couple kill. I don't know, with the Brood farming so quickly, that might still not have been worth it, even though it was a 3-for-1. I don't know. It was still like a big gold win for them.
Yeah.
Killed the Dragon Knight. It's the benefit of a tanky carry who looks like he already finished an Arma, so extra tanky. And in the meantime, Amaterasu took that bottom tower. She do pick up a couple kill. I don't know, with the Brood farming so quickly, that might still not have been worth it, even though it was a 3-for-1. I don't know. It was still like a big gold win for them.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those things you're like, oh, nice. We did some good stuff topside, and then you're like, yeah, but the Brood mother. It's like he took the tower, he's taken over the jungle, and it's only a matter of time before he takes the mid tower as well. It's already down to about a 30 HP. This is what he does. He pops the Feeding Frenzy, and the tower will disappear. But with Hellscream here now, and the Arsonist facet, it's gone. That's a quick cleanup for them. So more map pressure being applied from Shopify, very similar to what we saw in the last game.
Yeah, that gold lead starting to grow. 2K now for Shopify. They're just better at farming on these heroes. That's the scary part. So Na'Vi trying to find these plays. I do think it's good. It's what they need to do, but they're gonna have to keep doing that. Get 6 on the Nyx, maybe. That should make it easier to find other kills. Spirit Vessel on Earth Spirit will also be very strong versus many of these tanky heroes. Good versus Hand of God as well.
I'm just looking at the map right now, trying to see what they can do. I mean, Boom is like an unmovable object top lane on this Tidehunter. Like, they don't really have the damage they can kill this hero outside of like tossing him back into a tower and waiting for the Kraken shell to proc before going for a lasso or something, which he's not going to give him that opportunity. So it's very similar to last game where like on his Beastmaster, he kind of has the ability to kind of do what he wants, but you've got to do something with it. So that's what we're going to have to see what they can accomplish with this Tidehunter, who is having a pretty good game right now.
Yeah, we saw him having a good time last game as well, but they weren't able to quite convert that into anything and play around him. So far that one Ravage play wasn't too bad. We'll see if they can get a bit more.
All right. Well, they're gonna smoke to the top side. And
If I damage rune.
yeah, it is just a Chen sitting in the trees, which he's gonna see them. The smoke pop. Skem knows exactly what's going on. Off the mark with the roll, and because of it, he dodges it out. Now, they will know about the ward there, for sure. Now, the question is he going to know about the Nyx assassin? Clearly not. So they do manage to finish him off anyway.
Classic Nyx things.
Tower is under attack.
Well, this is kind of what you need to find, but that is 4 heroes in one part of the map.
Yeah.
So it's a little scary.
For the Chen only, too.
Dire's
Yeah, we see the gold lead not changing off that play. Like, that's the worrisome part.
There's the blink reveal out from Yopaj. They managed to get them hands onto the bristleback. The lasso is there, and Amaterasu eats him alive. The Broodmother getting scarier by the moment, and just like last game, the blink reveal nets them an important kill. Same thing this time.
are scanning.
And the nice thing about that is that Hellscream was there too, so he's also getting close to his blink.
Yeah.
Soon it won't just be the tiny. Yeah, I see Yamato. So he's got the Armlet, Mask of Madness, really good farming speed. He's got BKB queued up, and then he's going to go for that Silver Edge we were talking about earlier. That break
Yeah.
going to be extra value versus the Tide and the Bristle.
Uh-oh, Broodmother pigging out, trying to get away here, but Nyx Assassin, not an easy hero to run away from thanks to the Scuttle. Dodges the stun. Rolling Boulder will connect,
bullet.
picks them back into the Ravage. Nice. Very nice grab there from Sanctity.
He made them work for it, but fortunately that roll connected. I think if that roll misses, I think that Brood's out.
Yeah,
That'd be a
definitely.
big win for Shopify. But fortunately they grab it. It did cost them the Ravage.
Uh-oh. A little bit off the mark there in the mid lane as they're going to be able to just chase him down. The Magnetize doing some work. Yopaj does have an Invis rune, which they can keep this Magnetize going. They're dropping sentry after sentry to try and keep vision. They kick him back into range. And with that Spirit Vessel, the Life Drain, they get themselves big kills across the map. And now it's Na'Vi's turn to take over the map. They're going to take the mid-tier 1 tower and even this game up.
Yeah, this is much better. Starting with the Brood kill, like the previous plays we saw the make, we kept saying, it's like you got kills, but Brood's farming. This time by starting with the Brood kill, you can now commit a lot of heroes to the mid play, and you don't feel so bad because you're not worried about that Brood just popping off and farm somewhere else.
Heads up TP out there from Skem, runs into the Pug Gun. He's like, nope, I'm out.
Tower is under attack.
All right, I think for Na'Vi's sake, this game's in a really good state. I kind of expected Shopify to have a larger lead. Chen is not as farmed as we typically see on these Chen heroes, right? He's still working towards his Solar Crest, doesn't have like the mech or anything yet.
Middle tower
So
under attack.
thanks to the pipe already from Boom, they're feeling pretty good. Tossed in towards the enemy team. Kraken Shell will come out. He pops the pipe. Hellscream. He's going to get a lasso there onto the Nyx Assassin. The cleave damage from the Dragon Knight is what's killing this Tidehunter. And now he's trying to hobble away. Roll in, saved by the Decrep, but another toss comes out. Amaterasu trying to find the backside of this fight, but unable to do so. And now they're turning attention back towards Sanctity. Rolling one, but he cannot make it out. Two dead on the side of Na'Vi, but you get the Tidehunter out.
All right, Shopify finding a play for themselves now. Brood getting more involved. Like earlier, she was involved in some small plays, mostly just farming. Now with the Manta, feeling more comfortable to start joining in on these fights. Bring a lot of damage with that. You will eventually be able to kill these spiders pretty quickly, but not quite yet. And if they're alive, they'll kind of tear through some of these supports.
Are scanning.
Skem found 2 trolls. Imagine trolls with feeding frenzy spiderlings.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up, baby.
I need to see that.
Yamato. Not going to be able to find Sanctity there. Looking for a potential opening. Don't manage to find it, but Amaterasu comes through the portal bottom.
Like I
he's
just
being
saw this before.
One bug versus another. Who wins?
Dire's turret
They're baiting this though. They have a
They
second.
have a ward, yeah. They see him. They know what's up. They're gonna give it up. But they're bringing numbers on Na'Vi. The rest of the team is here. They do put a nice ward up onto the high ground, so they're going to know what's going on. Boom, looking to find an opening to roll in. BKB immediately from Yamato. The Avalanche, the toss onto two. Can they finish off these heroes? They get one. Lasso's going to grab the Pugna. He's dead, and the Ravage is finally out, but it's too little, too late for a Boom. Pulled back in thanks to the Bat Rider. It's a triple kill for the big bad Dragon Knight. They look for more. Will they find Sanctity in the trees? For now, he's going to survive, but this is the best fight you could have asked for. Oh! Hellscream finds him, sacrificing his life potentially to help finish off this. Earth Spirit tanks the roll, and Yopaj will be credited the kill.
That BKB got so much value for Yamato.
Yeah.
So we see him. He's in the middle of the fight. BKB, you just got to ignore him. And in the past, sure, you can ignore a Dragon Knight. Nowadays, with the red facet, it's just so good. He has so much damage that he is freely raining into this, and they just couldn't do anything to him in that entire time. What was that? Like 5,000 damage in the fight recap from just him. So that's the scary thing about this hero. And that's going to be a nice chunk of gold going towards that silver edge.
He's getting hunted here once again by the next assassin, but you're just going to stop him on the portal, I'm sure, right? Spike Carapace. Oh, a little awkward.
I actually don't know if he would get that kill anyways.
Nah, you
wouldn't. But yeah, it's just... I think it was a big brain play, is like making him think he messed it up.
Yeah. Bat Rider is absurdly tanky. We've talked about it, right? He has like the highest base HP in Dota.
Yeah, at least to start. Ranged heroes. There's melee heroes that are higher, but as a ranged hero, he's the highest starting strength.
All right. Quick grab of the tier 2 bottom. As mid lane also being sieged by the Dragon Knight. Yopaj in a position to find an opening, but that's going to be 2 towers dead, and they don't seem to care about going Roshan. They want to force Na'Vi back onto this side of the map, and Navi's trying to finish Roshan first and see if they can maybe fight with the Aegis. They get it, and they're going to TP back right away, but these towers are dying. So with that, decent chunk of tower damage plus the fortification in exchange for the Aegis on Na'Vi. I feel like a little bit of deja vu, maybe.
Yeah, but I think they knew they weren't in position to defend Roche, so they wanted to try to at least get something out of it. Didn't break the high ground, but they did soften it up for the future, which Brood, I mean, she's going to be parked down here, right? I mean, you're going to back out now because you're kind of scared of them, but eventually she's going to be out here, and if you ignore her for a little bit, she could rat your base. So they're going to be very careful of that on Na'Vi, but getting this Aegis is really nice. They stick it on the Bristle. He's getting scary, right? He has that Aghanims, now has the Aegis, and he's working on that Bloodstone. So he will be pretty strong. He does have to be careful of the break, but that break's not out yet.
This is a really big kill. Shadowblade comes out, but of course, you've got the innate from the Nyx Assassin. Yamato, he just doesn't have a TP. He's going to slowly tick down here. Not even slowly. A fantastic kill found by this Nyx Assassin. They get a BKB charge in the process as well.
Yeah, tipping QBFY. That's exactly what you want on the Nyx. You just gotta find people for your team to connect on. And yeah, actually, you'd prefer to stun before the BKBs can come out, but actually, the fact that he didn't have the TP worked out even better. You got the BKB and the kill.
Yeah. He pops that Shadowblade, and he's like, oh, I just got to run. And then, you know, the Nyx sense or whatever, you just kind of forget that innate exists sometimes, and you ain't getting away from this guy. Tier 2 tower topside will go the way of Shad. Getting a little bit of help there from the Pugna.
Do you see Boom forced to return, though? This is that pressure in that bottom lane we were talking about. If that tower's full health, you have a bit more room to like keep making a play top and then go back to defend, but with it already being half dead, have to be here early. And Tide's safe here to do it, but he's a huge part of the team fight, right? So Shopify kind of knows. They see the Tide bottom. They're like, they don't want to fight us without Tide. We should go look for people. Smoke up top. Currently not finding anyone, though. So good
They get
read
the
from
TPs
Na'Vi.
out. Yeah.
Looks like everyone's out. Yeah. Now, QBFY staying around with his ult is fine. Just kind of trying to break a potential smoke, or at least just confirm that they were coming up here. Sees Brood, but the rest of the heroes are actually still smoked. Maybe they can find something somewhere else. Nah, they're playing it safe. They're picking up the Tormentor. Ooh, they got it on Nyx, so that is
Nyx,
quite nice
yeah.
this game, having that 4-second break for the Dragonite.
Yeah. We don't really see people prioritize it that often, but this is one of those games where it's definitely nice to have. Top lane, tower, gone very quickly. And still a slight gold advantage for Shopify, but it is not much. At this point in the game, it is pretty much even. About minute 50 left on that Aegis. We'll see what they can get done with it.
Dire's bottom tower is under
And Na'Vi did not like get running down last game with that Spectre, so they've gone for a much stronger lineup, and so far doing much better with it.
Yeah.
This could still kind of go either way, even as there's a slight gold lead for Shopify, but 2K is not really anything.
They're kind of stalking the bottom lane here with Hellscream, seeing if he can find the Tidehunter if he was going to stick around. Is the Silver Edge done on the Dragon Knight, or is it still just a Shadowblade? I feel like it's close.
It's close.
Mid lane, Shield Rune is there. Buys Yop. Okay, he at least gets the kill onto the Nyx Assassin, but he's perfectly happy to trade his life for that one.
The Silver Edge is 200 gold away,
Okay.
so very close.
middle tower.
They're probably just going to wait out this Aegis, get that Silver Edge. There's a minute left on the Aegis, so you'll give up a tier 2 mid. Looks like they're going to fortify. Maybe they don't have to give it up. But the next fight now with the Silver Edge should go a lot better for them.
It's under attack.
Silver Edge, Vlad's both picked up. I like the Aether Lens here for the Pugna as well. It's always a nice grab. But Shad will just continue to put his body in front of the tower. Should be able to finish it off here in a moment. Well, never mind. Kaori's courier dies. Gets sniped by the Broodmother, so that's painful. No Aether Lens for you.
Shopify wants to find a fight with the Silver Edge reveal. They're going to find the Tide. Fast blink. What? Oh, he had the sentry on the cliff. Yeah, okay. They spotted out.
Okay.
Very, very good escape. If you lose the Tide, he's a big part of your team fight. You don't want to buy back or fight without him. But, I mean, it's a Brood and Dragonite. You'd lose your base.
There it is, the Blink Ravage, the breakout from this Nyx Assassin. But Yamato just turns around the BKB. This Bristleback is stunned, facing the DK. A disaster as he 3-shots the Pugna as well. Yamato is so strong as Amaterasu's looking for the rest of them up onto the high ground. The Blink, the lasso, and now Earth Spirit delivered into the hands of this Dragon Knight. 3 dead as they continue to look for more. The Avalanche does connect. The Dragon Knight break catches the Tidehunter. It's just 5 dead immediately on the high
might
ground.
be
No
it.
buybacks, no fort. This might just be game.
They're going for the end. They're not even
Yeah,
hitting the
don't
racks.
hit the racks.
You got, well, oh, man, where are those trolls now? Yeah,
They
usually this would be a
almost got
great jump on the Dragonite, but he's so tanky, plus the Chen heal, and all the auras come out. He pops his BKB, has Vlad's to heal up, and just survives throughout this entire fight. Yeah, I mean, and then from there, you just keep going. You need the Bristleback damage, and he didn't have enough for the Dragonite, who's so farmed this game.
Dude, the break did so much work in these fights for Shopify. The Bristleback goes in with the Aghanim Scepter, gets broken as soon as Yamato gets the BKB off and just chews right through him, and then it secures the kill onto the Tidehunter as well. So, and we talked about how value Silver Edge is going to be this game. It's already paid off. They decided, settle for the lane of barracks. They get both fortifications out of Na'Vi, so they're in a little bit of a rough spot now. A 12,000 gold advantage. Very similar to last game.
If you can burst Dragonite there, I think that's a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
But it's a tall order. Maybe shouldn't have forced that. We got a little excited. They didn't quite end there, but they did get one set of lane, one set of barracks. They forced the fortify, because otherwise they could have ended there. And that means you're no longer allowed to make another mistake. If you die anywhere on the map, we're getting to the point where death timers are long enough for these heroes to just run it down, and then you won't have a fortify to protect your last two barracks, or if they just choose to go straight for the ancient, if they're close enough, that's another option for them. Otherwise, for now, they'll just wait for the next Roshan, which is about 20 seconds from potentially spawning.
Yeah, I'm curious what they want to do with that. For now, they have the ability to control the whole bottom side of the map here pretty easily. And with the Daedalus coming in soon here for the Dragon Knight, I mean, we've seen the amount of damage he's been putting out so far. It's just going to get worse. So, he's a very scary boy. Amaterasu once again on the high ground here with the spiders, just chewing through the tower, gets the tier 3. He's going to pop the Feeding Frenzy to try and do what damage he can. The breaks out from the Nyx. They get the stun, the Force Staff. The Guardian is just able to bring him back to half HP. He pops the BKB, doing what damage he can. Sanctity trying to hobble away, but it's not enough. And now your lane exposed. Toss from Yopaj doesn't quite connect. Well, they're going to do what they can here. Yes, you did get the BKBs out of Shopify. You're going to buy back here on the Earth Spirit. Maybe you can get Yamato, but he does so much damage. He gets pushed up to the high ground. There's going to be the Ravage. They have the damage, ticking him down, and finally the DK will expire. Hellscream trying to TP to safety, taken by that Earth Spirit. Great roll connecting there. So 3 kills from Na'Vi, a very worthy buyback.
Getting a lot out of that, realizing without the BKB, Dragon Knight is susceptible to the Spirit Vessel and the buildup of damage over time from the Bristleback. We've all experienced it. The Nasal Goo, the Quill Sprays, they build up, and it's tough versus a hero as tanky as Dragon Knight. But because he went for that Daedalus, he's not as tanky as he could be if he opted for something else, like another Dispel, or now he's going for a Satanic, so that'll tank him up, give him a Dispel and Lifesteal. It'll be very hard to do that again once he has that. But off that find, they actually managed to push up to the high ground themselves. I think they can get this tier 3, but
Bat Rider's coming, man.
One more.
You always got to be careful of like the toss back into lasso. No, at every stage of the game, it's a threat. Oh, yeah. Yopaj just playing with him, but Nyx Assassin actually goes in. He's going to disappear as well. Oh, Amaterasu doing a lot of damage here on this Broodmother, and there he goes. Does manage to find the kill onto the Nyx as they continue to hunt outside of the base. I mean, the Conda damage plus spawn Spiderlings is a massive nuke. Once he has the if he has the Insatiable Hunger running, he has like 500 damage. He just adds into that nuke.
Yeah, it's a lot. Off that Nyx kill, they are just going to go for Roche. If they wanted to play it safe earlier, they could have done that. But at this point, I mean, it's fine. They're back at it. Perhaps Na'Vi should have gone for Roche instead of going for that tier 3. Because they didn't get the tier 3, but yeah, it's just a little bit scary. If they really wanted to commit to it, they could have probably finished 1 barracks, maybe 2, but you're really at risk of the tossbacks and the lassos as people respawn. So I kind of feel like maybe it wasn't even worth it to wait or to go for the tier 3. Maybe you should just go grab yourself the Aegis and the banner.
He goes straight to the top side of the map. Unfortunately, they get seen, so they're not going to be able to surprise anybody on Na'Vi, and they will go back through the portal bottom and play on this section of the map. He did send the spiders through, so he's trying to get some vision on the top side on where Na'Vi are. Satanic, the next item. I mean, that's a pretty big pickup. Needs to be able to dispel this, the Spirit Vessel or even the Magnetize. That's causing some issues for him.
Shopify's going to try to force them to come back. They think a play's happening, perhaps in the top lane.
It's a really good
coming
smoke.
to wrap around.
Hellscream's in a decent spot to break this, but they're going to find him first. Does Scan actually connects from the Dire just barely in time, and it does allow him to blink to safety, but the Ravage connects onto 4. They get both supports to open this fight. They do have buybacks. They're going to use them to try and get back into this, but can Yamato carry this fight on the Dragonite? He gets the roll away to safety. He's looking to go for Boom, but it's not enough. It's up to Amaterasu. He takes down the Nyx Assassin. He's going to buy back into this Kaori with the Glimmer Cape to buy himself a little bit of space. The Silver Edge is here. They're trying to break the Bristle back and finish him off. They do it. Yamato with the BKB on that second life. It pays off big. But now, in comes Batrider. Can he find the lasso? He does. It gets onto the Earth Spirit. It's enough just in time. They're falling on the side of Na'Vi. Can they escape? He's got that Silver Edge. Yamato, he just needs one attack. He gets it. Dragon Tail. It's going to be a nice decrypt to buy him a second of life, but it's not going to be enough. Boom. Trying to hobble his way back to the base, but Hellscream is there to push him back. And just like that, an ultra kill for Yamato and Shopify with all 5 members alive versus this Tide. I don't think he's making it out of this one, baby. That is going to be it. Game 2 for Shopify. Going to go their way. A nice series from them.
It was looking like a pretty good jump. They removed the Shopify supports immediately, but you kind of had to commit a lot to it, right? So then as you go for the remaining 3 cores who are pretty tanky, a downside is the supports bought back. Took them forever to get over.